So just to, yeah, I'll re-emphasize that now. So basically, when you click on the avatar, you click on the learners, you can change this to verify, and this will give you access to the learners that you IQA. Okay, so what you can see then is you can hit on any of these, and these learners that you're responsible for carrying out the IQA in it. Okay, so first of all, as an IQA, what would I do in the system? The first thing I would do is set up a sampling plan. So there's an extra menu called sampling summary. So this is not available for assessors, it's only available for IQAs. So if I click on the sampling summary, this will then bring up this page. Okay, so what you can see is a couple of menus at the top first, which is learners, assessors, evidence types, IV observations, referral history, and sampling plans. So the first couple are just reports. So I'll come back to these shortly. So the first thing you need to do is go to your sampling plans. Okay, so if I click on the sampling plans menu, what you can see then is all your sampling plans. So if I scroll down the bottom, you can see all sampling plans I've set up previously. Okay. So to set your own sampling plan up, now each IQA will have to do this separately. So this is only per the IQA login. So it's not like you set one sampling plan up for all IQAs. Each IQA will have to set it up. So if you've got some IQAs that are responsible for, say for example, two IQAs responsible for the same 20 learners, they will have to create it, the duplicate in both systems. So what you would do is you would click Create Sampling Plan. Okay, what you've got then is the name of the sampling plan. So very simply, you could be putting your customer service level 2. Okay, it's entirely up to you what you put in there. This is more for your benefit. So customer service level 2, and then you could put competent assessors, maybe, I don't know. But again, it's up to you. In the description, again, you can put further information in here. Normally what I tend to put then is the assessor names and maybe the percentage of sampling I'd carry out with them. Okay, so I'm just going to put them in. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so what we do then is choose the course template. So what am I gonna carry the sampling plan on? So if you click the arrow, this will give you all your available courses in the system. Okay, as you can see, I've got a host of wonderful and weird ones in there. So if you'd only have a list of the ones that are available in your system. So I'm just gonna try and pick one that I think I'm gonna get some stuff all through. Okay, I'll choose that, I think. Okay, so I'll choose business admin. I'll change this to business admin so it can be a bit more relevant. Okay, then you can select the company as well. So if you want to set a sampling plan up for a specific company, you can. Normally you probably wouldn't know. So then this is where then you select the assessors. So I put in Simon Berry, and then I'm also going to put in Anna Clark. Okay, so I want this sampling plan to include every learner that's on the Diploma in Business Administration and when the assessor is Simon Berry and Anna Clark. You've got an option to include completed candidates. The only reason you'd probably do this is if you were sending a sample to the EQA maybe of just wanted to run a report of all the ones that have been completed and the ones that you've sampled already. So you might, but at this point I wouldn't. So I'd click Save. What the then system does is work out automatically for you the learners. Okay, so what you've got is the sampling plan gets created. So as you can see now, here it is: Business Administration Level 2 Competent Assessors, Simon Berry, Anna Clark. If I click on the name now, the link, it will take me in to my sampling plan. What it will then do, it will list all the learners that are under Simon Berry, Anna Clark, and are on Business Administration. Okay, I've obviously only got one learner because I've only got a demo site, so obviously I haven't got loads of learners. But what you would see is a list of all your learners scrolling down the system. Okay, now what you've got then is all the units that are open for business administration. Okay, so as you can see, I can scroll across. These are all the units available for business admin. So the key code is, if it's grey and a white cross, that shows that that unit is not being selected. So that unit is not currently open on the learner's ILP. Okay. Now, the ones that are grey, that means they're open, but they haven't been started. So they've been selected as open by the assessor, but they haven't been started. The ones that are blue have been opened and have been started. If one was then green, it would then be, obviously green, it would then be shown as completed. Okay, so what you would then do is you would then start selecting the units that you would like to sample, as you would normally in your Excel spreadsheets. So you say, okay, I might want to see unit 224. I click on unit 224, an extra menu appears on the right hand side. So I can say select for verification, yes. I can then choose the evidence types I'd like to see. Okay, and then I put a predicted date of when I'd like to see that unit. So I'll say December the 25th, Christmas Day. And then I click save. Not that I'll be working Christmas Day, by the way. And then I can select another unit. If you can have a look now, that's gone in, as you can see now, P for planned. So that's showing that unit is planned. I might then select 222. I'm going to select that one, and I'm going to maybe see something slightly different. And then I'm going to select that one for 24th. And then save. So pretty similar to your sampling plans. You're only suggesting what you would like to see. We know in a perfect world that doesn't always happen, but you're only planning what you think you should see. So as you can see now, unit 222 and 224 has been planned. You would then go to the next learner, plan other units and so forth through your whole sampling plan. But what that does is feed that through to your home page. So if I go back to my home page as an IQA, and I click on my verify a tasks button. For assessors, it says assess a task, but for verify, it says verify a tasks. So you can see now, learner test is on my sampling plan tasks. Unit 224, there's my evidence. 222, that's my evidence types, and then the date as well. Okay, a date of when I will see it. So you can then, obviously, when the date's coming into force, then you can go, right, I need to do that unit. You can click into the learner then, and then you can carry out the IQA on the system. Okay. So to carry out the verification, then what you would then do is, that's already been carried out on that one. Let me see if I can get another learner. So I'll just open up another learner where I know I got some work. Okay, I'll do this one. So what you've got is, if a learner has started working towards a unit already, so it's gone blue, I can now carry out an interim verification. So if I click on the unit, like as an assessor would, what you can do is, obviously you can see now there's two bits of evidence in the system, and they've both been changed to green. So green ticks are assessor ticks. So what you can do now is you would open up that document, okay, have a look at it. You would then click on the IV box to show it's been IV'd, and then you would tick the boxes to see if you agree with them. So if I tick the green tick twice, it changes it to a pink. So that suggests I agree with it. If I don't think it quite meets it, I can change it to a question mark and return that back to the assessor to provide more evidence. Maybe it's just a bit of annotation. Or I could change it to pink, or I could remove the tick. It doesn't meet it at all, and then I can give that feedback. So I'll leave these as pink for the moment, and I'll remove that one. So I've selected that piece of evidence, I've ticked the IV, I've then obviously selected them to pink. I then click save. This would then lock that into the system. Okay, so that shows that evidence has been sampled. So what I now then need to do is then obviously give feedback to the assessor. So there's a button here for interim verification. So I select that button. Yeah, and then what happens is a contact diary comes up. So quite important, it comes up, learner company will not see it. So that's already ticked to private, because the learner or the company shouldn't see feedback from the IV to the assessor. So then what you can do then is give a description, so unit 222.1, and then you can give your actual feedback. So excellent evidence. It meets, obviously you'd be a bit more descriptive in here, but for the purpose of today. However, it hasn't met 1.4 removed. So then you can record any off the job or on the job, but you as the IQA wouldn't do that. You can also ask the assessor to acknowledge this. So I'd probably tick yes at this point, and then click save. That would save it. You have got an opportunity to upload a document. So if you had your own documents that you use and you wanted to scan into this, you could upload it and attach it to this contact diary. But at this point, I would probably click close. Okay, that then records that I've carried out an interim verification on this learner. Okay, so you've got the pink, but then what you've got then in the contact diary is, there's my verification. So that's obviously, it's gone to pink, 221.1, and then it's obviously my feedback. It says then assessor hasn't acknowledged it. So what will happen is then the assessor then would get a notification automatically through the system to say that an interim verification is carried out, please log in. They would then log in, and then they would just simply tick this to say they've acknowledged it, and then they would then carry out any actions if required. Okay, so that's what they do for an interim. It's the same process for a summative. I don't think I've got any completed learners a minute now. So I'll just go into this in a minute. So it's the same process as a summative, but the only difference is once the assessor's completed the whole unit, it's all been signed off. Up here, you won't have a button for interim verification. You'll simply have a button for accept or refer. Okay, so if you agree with everything they've claimed, you would obviously click accept. If you didn't, you'd click refer, and then give them the feedback. Both buttons would then open up a contact diary, and rather than interim verification, it would be just verification. Then you would give your feedback. If it's accept, you would just give them positive feedback. If it's refer, then you would give them feedback, and then what would happen then is they would have to carry out the actions, and then on your home page in the verifier tasks, you've got referred learners, and then it updates this when the assessors updated their actions, and then you can then go back in, check the actions, and then accept it then if they've done the requirements. Okay.
Yes,
Any questions on that part? Yeah, it's nice and easy for the IQA. You go in, you tick the ticks from green to pink, and then you either give interim feedback, or do you accept or refer. So that's nice and easy. So obviously there's my sampling plan tasks. What you can then do as an IQA is, so you've got your sampling plans and you'd work through that, but what you can also do is run some reports just to make sure that you're on track. So if I just get I'll get that qualification. So if I run the learner report, so I just selected the course, I can run it for a particular assessor. I can also run it from a start date to an end date. And if I click search, what this will tell me is all the interim verifications I've carried out for this learner. Okay, so you can see learner test, Unit 222, I've carried out 1. So then if you've got like 10 learners and you've carried out 10 on Unit 222 and none on Unit 224, then you can start planning for different units going forward. So that kind of shows you your interim verifications that you've carried out per learner. You can also run assessor's report then as well. So the assessor's report is very similar, so I'll do that. So you can run the dates. So you can then see per assessor what units you've carried out per assessor. So have I done too much of one unit for one assessor? Do I need to start mixing that up? Okay, so the learners is across the whole learners, the assessors is per assessor. We then got evidence types. So same principles apply. So it will show you the different evidence types you've been IVing as well. So when you run the report, it will show you the different evidence types that you've been IQAing as well. So have you been seeing too much professional discussion or too much product? You need to start mixing that up. I'll skip my re-observations, I'll come back to that. And then referral history, which is the one that we all cringe at. So if we go to business administration, hopefully I'm going to have none. Yay. But this will just give me the referral per assessor. So is one assessor getting a particular unit wrong all the time? Is one particular assessor getting a lot of referrals? Is all the assessors getting a particular unit wrong? And that can then be part of your standardization meetings going forward. Okay, so they're the reports you can run, just making sure that you're looking at trends and things like that as well. Okay, now you can also carry out IV observations on the system as well. So you've got a report you can run. So I presume you have to carry out 2 observations a year for your assessors. Or is it 1 or not sure? You can then run it for an assessor. Okay, Simon Berry for the last year, click run, and that'll show me all the observations I've carried out. So I've carried out 1 in June, 1 in September, another 1 in September, another 1 in October. So I've met that for that particular assessor. But to create your observations, so they appear on here, you simply click Create Observation. This will then bring up this box. You can then type in what happened at the observation. You can also link stuff as well if you need to. You then who the assessor was. So I'll do it for Tracy. When the observation date was. So I'll say yesterday. You click Save. Okay. So what I can then do is for Tracy, run that. You can see then that I just run that one. I can edit it. And then I can attach a document if I need to. So if you've got your own observation documents, you could upload a document and attach your own document to it as well. So you just choose File and it'll open up your PC. Okay, so you can record observations on here and then you can run reports. So you could run a report for all assessors for that period of time and it'll show you all the observations carried out across each ones. You can also print these in a format for HTML or for PDF as well. Okay, and that pretty much is the IQA part of the system. Now, the bit that obviously I don't like too much is the sampling plans. When you obviously set the sampling plan, when you're planning, you're only planning for summative. Okay, so what I'm asking for is when you select this unit and it says select for verification, yes, underneath this will be type of verification. So it'll say then interim or summative, and then on your home page you will then have a interim sampling plan tasks and a summative sampling plan tasks, so you can clearly identify your interims to your summatives. And then on the sampling summary as well, I'm also going to get the ability to print your sampling plan. So you can give it to obviously your assessor, but also on there will be the registration number of the learner, and it'll be last interim date and last summative date. So when you print that report, that can go out to the EQA and also to obviously your assessors as well. So that change is coming. So that change will be in the next 2 months. And then the only other change we're making is we're creating roles in the system for trainee IV and countersigner as well. So they can be clearly identified in the system as well.
When will that come out?
So at the moment we're looking, so the development is taking place as we speak. So I think the next release will be probably just after Christmas.
Okay, thank you.
So I can, but what will happen is when they'll release that in my demo site first, and then I can show it to you so you can see it before it goes live as well.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, so that's pretty much, I mean, obviously the IQA, and it's pretty easy and flexible to do. I understand, obviously, that we've only just been trained in the system, and they've obviously will only start uploading evidence now over the next couple of months. But if you if anyone wanted to dial in again, maybe in a couple of months when you're up and running, just let me know and I can run a further webinar then for to help you do your first one, or you know, we can do separate ones, or we can do a group one again. That's entirely up to you.
Oh, that's brilliant, thank you.
Thank you, Simon.
No problem.
You were going to send a couple of links, Simon, one to the one that you did for assessors and also to a YouTube students.
Yeah, I'll send that over to you now, Jacqueline. It has been uploaded and has been ready. I've been on the road last day or two, but as soon as I get off the webinar now, I'll send you the links from Friday.
Thank you, that's brilliant.
Okay, thank you very much, Jacqueline. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, thank you all. Cheers. Bye now.
Bye, thanks.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.